And we welcome Scott Smith of Exit Realty, Homeward Bound, to WNBF and Binghamton Now. Scott, good morning.
Happy Thursday.
Oh, I am so happy. I've seen robins. I even saw a guy dressed as Batman, so I know it's spring.
Batman is out again. That's wonderful.
Yes, we're making steady progress. Glad you can join us for your weekly update on real estate. Appreciated your being with us last week, and of course we look forward to future visits. I know you'll be able to keep us posted essentially in real time how things are evolving in the coming weeks with the local real estate market. How are things generally going at this point? I know in a moment you'll tell us a bit about what people need to do in order to get ready to sell their home, but just generally based on what you're experiencing over the last several days, how are things going locally?
Well, here's the quote of the day. Today, one of the agents said, we have more agents than we have listings. So that tells you something about the market right there.
That was the first thing I heard when I woke up this morning, because I set my phone alarm to listen to actually a business report from WCBS. It's a Bloomberg business report, and Joe Connolly said that same thing. And I thought, well, then I have a pretty good idea what Scott Smith is going to be talking about a few hours from now. And I thought, well, not only does it apply in Metro New York and across the country, I'm sure it applies right here.
Yes. Right now we have 294 active listings in our general area, which includes Broome and Tioga.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, and we have more agents than that. So yeah.
It's a very, very interesting time to be sure. Now, I know one of the things you wanted to share with our listeners, in case they're in a situation where they're about to put their home on the market, what do they need to do?
Well, the first thing they want to do is they want to get organized. They want to find all their documents, a deed, abstract, stuff like that. Sometimes a lawyer has that, so they got to make a call or two. They're going to want to check with their mortgage situation, check with your bank if you know you owe money. Look for a payoff statement if you think you have it all paid off. And check around, see if you have a survey of the property. Knowing where the boundaries are is always a good thing. So
it's just basic stuff, but if you at least get that handled right at the outset, those are key issues that will be addressed right away, and then some of the other finer points can be addressed in the next few days.
Oh, absolutely. When we go to look at a listing, we usually take a checklist for our sellers and say, well, here's your beginning stuff, here's your homework. Find these things, and then, there's a list that we have for the condition of the house as well.
All right.
We make a list. Are there things to fix? Is it clean? Is it full of stuff? You'd be surprised how many people have a house full of stuff and they want to sell, and the stuff can't go with it. So our first question is, well, what are you going to do with it? And then it gets into an interesting discussion.
Well, in some of those cases, especially with people who over the years have collected a lot of stuff, is it probably to their advantage at some point early on to just, hey, get a dumpster, man, and make some hard decisions? I mean, I know it's not easy to part with stuff that you may have emotional attachments to, but ultimately, if you intend to sell a property quickly, you're going to have to declutter and do that as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. Garage sales are optional. Donations are always wonderful. But yeah, a dumpster in front of the house. Not only does a dumpster in front of the house get it done, but sometimes you can, you can post a little sign, soon to be sold, or something like that on the dumpster.
Well, that's good, and it would at least get people aware. I think it's interesting too that sometimes in a neighborhood, say if people have recently sold a neighboring home. There might have been people who had been interested in that property and for whatever reason weren't able to acquire it. So certainly once people get interested in a neighborhood, they might keep an eye open for new listings in that area or on that particular street.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And, word of mouth can spread a lot of stuff very quickly. If you know of a neighbor when you're selling your own home and you know a neighbor that's going to be selling soon, you usually try to mention it. And sometimes having two of them side by side is a cool thing to deal with when you're selling them both at the same time.
Scott Smith, if people would like to contact you to get more general guidance on preparing their home for sale or anything else related to real estate, how can they get in touch?
Absolutely, Bob. I can be reached at 237-5397, and my website is exitwithscott.com.
All right. And again, that phone number, it's area code 607...
237-5397.
Scott Smith from Exit Realty, Homeward Bound, thank you so much for joining us. I'll look forward to speaking with you again in a few days.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Bob.